chips.
Yeah.
And apparently companies investing billions of dollars into things like Epic Games. So let me zoom this in for everybody. I apologize. Actually, this is great. This is a great little shot right here in the video that I paused on. I didn't even think how good it was. So to spoil everybody that wasn't there on the 7th of February, Disney invested $1.5 billion for a stake in Epic Games. Obviously, which is massive. Disney has already been giving Epic all the characters possible in Fortnite, like the number of Star Wars, Marvel, etc. characters that were going into Epic, like games like Fortnite, was huge. Particularly what I'm thinking about is, as they said, like they had this video where they discover a place where magic happens. You could guarantee at this point there's going to be a specific mode within the Fortnite engine that is like, it's very much just going to have like maybe one to a couple modes of Disney specific games. We already have Lego Fortnite. Okay, Lego Fortnite's a survival game. I don't know how well that's doing anymore, by the way. I imagine that game fell off quite a bit after Pal World and stuff came out.
Feels like that game got overshadowed. That game like came out, and then Pal World came out a few weeks later, and then Enshrouded came out, and people are just like,
everyone's like,
Pal World and Enshrouded are better. So
they are just better games than Lego Fortnite. Like they're just so like I hate. I'm not gonna say so much better, but they're just better than Lego Fortnite. Lego Fortnite was entertaining though. But continuing on the Disney train, it also opens the floodgates to all the memes that I got to see, which is like, check out my Fortnite squad. And it was like Mickey Mouse, Elsa from Frozen. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, jokes aside, certain Disney characters are not going to be in Fortnite. Let's just hard stop there. We're not going to see
What
Mickey.
about are we getting Kingdom Hearts? Are we getting Sora?
We could get Sora in something. There's going to be like a Disney game. There are going to be one or more Disney games in Fortnite now. That's what you're going to get from this. Is Epic is going to have a I don't know how big of a chunk of a development crew with Fortnite that is specifically just going to say, I need you to build like 3 Disney games. Let's build like a game for each universe. Let's build like a Marvel kind of game. Let's build a Star Wars game, and let's build like a fun, relaxing Disney kind of game. Which is funny because Disney already has like a life sim game called Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine they're going to do something like that. But I could see the main Disney characters in one bucket, Star Wars in another, Marvel in another bucket. There's probably another IP I'm missing. Well, I'm going to call Pixar as a part of like the main bucket. Oh yeah, why? I don't know why people keep mentioning Avatar. I guess they could have like an Avatar game, sure. That's kind of where I'm concluding. Like, I think it's really big though. We're gonna see more Disney specific game modes in Fortnite, much like we did with Lego Fortnite and with like the racing game and all that's in there. So that's kind of what we're getting from that. And Disney's just getting the Mickey Mouse is getting its grubby little hands and everything. Somebody has to stop this freaking mouse.
I mean, Disney.
They're just fucking huge.
Disney owns so many things. Like, people forget, like, you know, like the network ABC is owned by Disney. ESPN is owned by Disney. Hulu is owned by
Disney now. It's wild.
Disney owns, like, I don't know if it's half, but I'm gonna exaggerate. Disney owns like half of like all like media companies. It feels like it's a huge chunk.
Yeah,
like
it owns so much, and all these like big brands, like again, Marvel, Star Wars. I mean, like even its main brands in Pixar. I'm not counting Avatar. I'm sorry, I don't count Avatar as like. I know it is a big movie. Like it was, the first Avatar was a massive movie, but like those are bigger brands than Avatar.
For some reason my head went to Avatar: The Last Airbender, not Avatar the James Cameron movies. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, Avatar.
I didn't think Disney owned Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No,
like
Disney owns the blue people, the blue aliens. Yeah. I think this is obviously huge. Like, it's huge for Disney again getting their hands in other
buckets. Oh God.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Epic is great for Fortnite too.
Disney doesn't Disney shut down their their at least like console game division. I think they were still doing mobile for a while. I don't know if they still are. They probably do. Because I know there's some Marvel mobile games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At least there were a while ago.
Yeah. Disney doesn't have its own like publishing branch.
I guess this is them like maybe trying to dip back into like the gaming space by just partnering with Epic, and as you said, they'll probably just put like modes in Fortnite or something like that that are Disney property related. So
which makes sense. I think Lego Fortnite is actually a good game mode. It's a really good game mode.
And obviously whether they'll probably just be in Fortnite, but if they're separate things, I'm sure they'll only be on like Epic Game Store or maybe like consoles, but they're not going to be on Steam, that's for sure.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. I think they're... Yeah, I just think you're throwing things into... like, Fortnite is the biggest thing of the Epic Game Store. I think... I hate to say it, but the Epic's smartest move has probably been turning Fortnite into like Roblox and Minecraft. It's just been like the smartest play. So like, we have Fortnite. Fortnite has like a massive inherent player base just because people like playing the Battle Royale. It's easier to get a fraction of that than to try and get somebody hyped up about our new Epic Store game.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like Epic's kind of abandoned the Epic Store. They were buying a lot of exclusives for a while, and they kind of stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Because it didn't work out. I think Steam is too entrenched.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
Everyone has like all their PC games on Steam. So, and yeah, they're just putting all their eggs in the Fortnite basket, and everything they make is just like an add-on to Fortnite, or it's just part of the Fortnite client, right? It's like, okay.
Right. Yeah. Which again makes sense. You have like millions of players that go into Fortnite. It's easier to get that player base. So yeah, there you go. I don't have anything else to add. Disney, once again, Mickey Mouse is just like collecting. He's collecting the Infinity Stones of media. The various media buckets.
I mean, it's not like they're taking it's not like they bought Epic Games. They're just like partnering. They're just partnering, right? Yeah.
It's like a partnership, but it says a stake, so they obviously bought some kind of percentage.
A portion, but
what? Yeah.
But they didn't buy a control. From what I understand, they didn't buy a controlling portion of it. So
I don't know if 1.5 billion is a controlling.
That doesn't sound like enough for Epic Games for me.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think so. Yeah, but still, it's a lot. Gotta be a lot. Anyway, anything else on Disney and Epic? Nothing else on. If we get Mickey Mouse though in Fortnite with a gun,
that would be. I don't think Disney would allow that, but it would be hilarious.
I'm in, like, immediately in. This one I actually saw too, and I didn't think to. I don't know if I put it into our Discord, but I did see this. Embracer Group canceled 29 unannounced games between July and December, which is wild. Oh, look, more restructuring. Yay. 1,400 jobs go boom. More cuts could be coming as it enters final stretch of restructuring plans. Can we just... I hate when they use restructuring. It's like their politically nice way of being like, we're firing people.
Yep.
I just...
Corporate speak is the worst.
It's weird. I hate it. Every time I hear like, oh, we're restructuring. Like, shut up. You're just... Stop trying to use the politically correct term. You are firing people. We got it. Just, you don't gotta say that.
You're firing people so you can buy back more stock and enrich your shareholders and more, because you'd rather do that than actually pay people to do work. Like,
it's just, it is what it is. So, I actually did not jump into the article specifically for details. They actually did confirm it was actually 1,387 jobs. That's 8% of the workforce. So I was just curious if obviously they're unannounced games, but I was just curious to see like, why you're just cutting 29 games and all this. But look at this though. During its first fiscal quarter, ended in June, during its first fiscal quarter ended in June. I don't know why the wording.
That's a terrible sentence, but
yeah, I was like, it had 153.
That needs a during its first fiscal quarter, which ended in June. They need another word in there. They need
it was
like it's bad. That's bad English. That's just a terrible.
I was just like, what the frick am I reading?
Yeah.
It had 153 unannounced games in development across internal studios. Blah blah blah. That number fell to 138 in its second quarter and 124 in its third quarter. So they've been cutting plenty of unannounced games. I mean, let's just read this last quote because I love hearing the quotes from these guys. As part of the restructuring program, Embracer still has a few larger structured divestment processes ongoing that could strengthen our balance sheet and further reduce why did I read that? Ugh.
Well, I mean, there was a thing. I don't remember where I saw it. Like this guy, like Embracer Group is honestly the worst. They give zero fucks about actually making games. They are just a money making machine.
Yes.
All they want to do is enrich their shareholders. I think the CEO I saw had a quote recently that's like, yeah, we basically all we want to do is enrich their shareholders. That's all they care about.
Of course they do. I mean,
like,
they're just trying to, like, games make money. What they're doing is they're throwing darts at a board and one's gonna hit, and the one that hits is like, that's it. That does everything. It's like, God.
So yeah, Embracer Group is their ass. They're fucking horrible.
Yeah. I mean, that's reading that sentence. I hated myself reading it. I was just like, Jesus Christ. I was just like, what are you even like trying to say here besides just we need money?
that shit involves belongs in an investor call. Like
why would you say this in this article? Anyway, I don't have anything else to add. Layoffs are never great. Embracer Groups
suck. They suck.
It just sounds like it sucks. Speaking of sucking, Skull and Bones really stunk it up, apparently, according to critics. Let's read some of these numbers.
There's only 10 reviews, so it's a pretty small
sample
size. But
unlike Suicide Squad, I'm not surprised about this one. I was surprised. I will say that with Suicide Squad, I was surprised they were so hasty to withhold the review copies. I'm not surprised that nobody wanted to play this video game and review it. But I do want to read a couple of little blurbs here. Skull and Bones is a maritime RPG with a strong foundation, even if it feels like a live service first draft. Okay. Promises pirate adventure of our dreams and falls short thanks to a sparse storyline. I don't know. Okay. If you expected a storyline from this live service game called Skull and Bones,
yeah, no thanks.
I think sparse is what I expected. Lack of personality and gameplay that oscillates between frustrating and boring. I mean, some people are giving it 75 to 8 here. Like 77, 75, 8. Those are to me like, okay, game's good. Like that's like to me a good game. 75 and 70 are like, all right, it's okay, you know.
It's these.
You could play it and have a good time here and there.
I mean, we've talked about this before, so we won't dive deep. But like a 7 is like, yeah, it's alright. Like it's decent enough. Like you'll have a good time with it. In 8, you're getting to like, yeah, it's a pretty solid, like actually good game. And then, I mean, anything below a 7 in most scales is like pretty bad, and you shouldn't look at it.
Right.
Like,
here's one review that I find super interesting.
And I'd love to watch more streams of it because I do agree with some of what they're saying after watching it. I mean, obviously it's different watching and playing. I understand that, but Skull and Bones feels like an online mode from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. True. But in a bad way. The sea battles are really fun at first and look really great, which I do agree. Like the sea battles are really fast paced and it looks like pretty entertaining when you watch it.
Well, I would hope you would get that right if that's like your whole game, basically. So,
but unfortunately, it remains monotonous and a dull grind. There's not much to do. There's no gameplay away from the ship, and everything else just plods along. There is a definite potential somewhere, but there are plenty of fun alternatives in the pirate genre, and I think that's like kind of where I'm getting at. You could find a better pirate game. You can just find a better pirate game out
just
there.
Just play Sea of Thieves.
Just play Sea of Thieves. And some people, I think Skull and Bones does have a single player to it. So you can just like play single player and control your boat. So I guess that like Sea of Thieves single player, I don't know.
Or just boot up your Xbox One or PS4, or maybe have it on Steam and play Black Flag again.
Play Black Flag.
Probably
like,
better.
It's just so, yeah. I feel like it would just be so much better. I just think like from watching it, I do agree. There isn't much to do off the ship. You basically go onto ports and you do some stuff, pick up quests, all that junk, you know, turn in stuff. And then you get back on the boat. Which I think the focus on the boat is fine. Like Sea of Thieves, for example, when I play it, there's stuff off the boat to do. Like you're on the boat to get to your destination. But when you get off the boat, you explore the islands. So you're exploring the islands to like dig up treasure, find vaults, you know. And you even go like under into the ocean and like get teleported into like this underwater cave. So the boat is obviously your means of transportation. And it's obviously the theme of the game. You're a pirate. But there's a lot to do off the boat, too. And I know it's two different games, but I feel like for me, if 90 to some percentage of your game, which after watching it and like seeing what people have to say, is like on the boat, it better be like really creative what you can do with the boat and not just ship battles. Like you should be able to explore vast like environments with your boat.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the game loses me. It's like the boat was a nice side activity in like Assassin's Creed 3 and then in Black Flag, but would I want my entire game to be that? No, there's not enough to do with the boat. You can like sail around and collect resources, I guess. You can fight stuff. I'm sure you can like take down forts like that are on an island. But the thing is, if there's not a lot to do off the boat, that qualifies in the same category as fight stuff. To
yeah,
me. That's combat.
It's just you're just fighting something different.
And like all the games where we've seen like ship stuff, which is mostly the Assassin's Creed games, the boat is like a mode of transportation or like a quote unquote like mini game as part of the main game.
Yeah, it is a piece of the game, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't want. It's a nice, different form of gameplay, you know, compared to the regular Assassin's Creed run around, fight stuff, assassinate, whatever.
And yeah, not everything was locked on the boat, too. Like Assassin's Creed.
I just don't want my whole game to be on the boat. Like, I don't know. I don't think there's enough diversity in like gameplay that you could do with being on the boat basically the entire game, unless they got really if you know they were able to get really creative and find cool and interesting things to do with the boat. But it doesn't sound like they did. It just kind of
And I haven't seen a lot of off-boat activity, but mostly what I've seen people do is they go to port, they turn and pick up stuff, and go back. But to be fair, I haven't watched like hours upon hours of this game, and I haven't played it. Like, I could be missing something. But to me, based on what I'm seeing, there's just, from also people talking about it, there's just not a lot to do off the boat, which I think is a huge miss. One of the nice things about Sea of Thieves isn't necessarily just the co-op. The boat is part of the activity. You can do ship battles. You are transporting either cargo or you are going someplace because that's your transportation. And then once you are there, you get off the boat and you explore. There's a little bit of combat off the boat. It's not super in-depth. But the point is, like, the entire experience makes more sense to me. Because it's more than just a boat. Like, pirates weren't just on boats 24/7. They went off the boat. And they did stuff off the boat. And Sea of Thieves, to me, like, that's what it does right, is it does all the stuff off the boat. It does it good, and it does it well. And, like, obviously there's a co-op aspect. From what I've seen on Skull Boats, all I've seen is people on the boat. I haven't seen, outside of them on port, getting off the boat, collecting resources, you're on the boat. You dock next to an island, it looked like, and they collected resources. Which, to me, seems very shallow and disappointing, to just be like, I've docked my boat, click a button, resources gathered. It seems like really shallow to see that.
Yep.
I was like, oh, it would have been nice if like we dock the boat, I get off of it, I pick those things up, or like order my crew to do it and I do it with them. We bring boxes on the boat with our cargo.
Yeah, if there was like a mini game to it, or maybe, yeah, I mean, maybe there's a time management aspect to the game or something like that. I don't know.
But like you get off the boat, like that's the experience to me. Seeing you dock the boat and then just click the resources to grab them.
Yeah, that's pretty shallow.
It's pretty shallow. And even in like Sea of Thieves, there's another thing I want to tie in, and then I'll stop. When resources are in the water, you have to actively go over to like, you can either jump in the water to get it, or there's like a harpoon gun. You shoot the harpoon gun and you can pull it in with the harpoon gun.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, it's like, okay, I'm like actively going and getting it. I don't know how it works in Skull and Bones, but like, it would be weird if in Sea of Thieves, you weren't actively going in the water to get the cargo and bringing it back on.
You just like press A to pick up resources.
They're like, you highlight it with your mouse cursor and press A and it's just on there.
Yeah.
You would lose a little bit from me if that was the case. So, I mean, Skull and Bones is its own game. I'm sure people are enjoying it. I've seen people playing it on streams and I don't know, they seem like they're having a good time, so good stuff. I think this is a $60 to $70 game. Apparently, it's also a quadruple A game. If this is a quadruple A game, I'm super concerned with the level of everything else.
Ubisoft they're a joke right now. They're really
they're a clown company.
They're reeling. They've just got like no new ideas. All they do is just make the same game over and over again in different settings. I mean, I guess this one is actually a little bit different, but it's, I don't know.
But it's just it's just using a game mode from one of your other games. I mean, it's not like I know it's a new IP. Come on. This is just Black Flag's Combat as a live service game.
Again, I mean, I think this game would have been canceled like 5 years ago if they weren't basically required to finish it because they had the deal with the Singapore government, as we talked about like months and months ago.
I think if you're really into pirate games and you like just fast-paced combat, because the combat looks pretty fast-paced, and for what it's worth, I think the combat looked fairly entertaining on a first pass of it. If you like that, go for it. I certainly this to me is there's like a $10 to $20 game in here.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
maybe
to be fair to them, this game turned out, I think, even like better than I thought it would. I think 60 was like, I thought this game would be like a buggy mess, just dumpster fire game, and it's competent. Like, it's 60, it's competent. Like, there is some fun to be had there.
There is,
based on that Metascore and what people are saying. And there are some people giving it like 7s and 8. It's like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like,
that's
it's
not bad.
Fun. Maybe it's a little shallow. Maybe it, isn't very like replayable. It doesn't last too long. It kind of gets stale pretty quickly. But there's fun to be had for $70. Hell no. But yeah, as you said, for like $10 or $20, maybe. I don't know. There
probably is like a $10 to $20 decent game in here. I'm sure it is. Playable game was the part. Actually it was.
Playable. It's competent. This game is like, it's competent. Is it good? Not really, but it's competent. Like, there's something here if you really want a pirate game.
Right.
I guess. Like, again, I think $70 is real steep.
Yeah, it is.
What we're getting here, but
it is. I'm with you. I don't know.
But does it? I mean, this game goes on Game Pass in like a couple months, right? Like, come on.
Well, they have this like Ubisoft thing with Game Pass. I'm not sure if that still applies.
Oh yeah.
How it works with Game Pass anymore? I don't know how it works anymore, but I think this is a good Game Pass candidate. I don't know the numbers on player counts. This is on Steam, right?
I would think.
Skull and Bones Steam charts. I don't know the current player counts. I'm assuming it's not great. Okay, that's just not the game. Where is Skull and Bones? Show me Skull and Bones. Am I just? Is it because I'm not spelling it right? Is it supposed to be spelled like? Am I just not spelling it correctly? I can't find it. You're gonna have to help me. I'm like, this is wild.
I'm looking as well.
Oh, it's not on Steam? Oh, that's super interesting. I thought it was on Steam. Wow, it's not? Of course it's on Uplay. Maybe it's not.
Why would you not release it on Steam? That's an int. Like
Amazon Luna and Microsoft Windows. It's not on Steam.
I'm sure it's on it's on console as well. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Skull and Bones. Not on Steam. So we don't know the player data. Well, I was gonna say I was curious to see what the player data was today on Steam. Steam's a decent barometer to understand that, right?
Lowland Bones.
Lowland Bones is a great name.
I like that name better.
I think much like how I felt about Suicide Squad, I think it's probably like we're thinking 2 to 3 months Game Pass. Suicide Squad is like a DLC coming out, so my thought was to wait after the DLC comes out. But it's like the same idea, like 2 to 3 months Game Pass. Isn't it weird how we keep using Game Pass and it's like Netflix? It's like, oh, is this a Netflix thing? Yeah, I'll be on Netflix in like 2 months. Game Pass has kind of become that.
It's not doing too bad on Twitch. We got 18K viewers. So
like I said, some people are having fun. There. Sure, some people are having fun.
I don't know if they're just like they're doing sponsor streams still with big streamers.
I guarantee they are. I guarantee they picked out a couple streamers to do a sponsored one with. There might also be some people can be a Ubisoft partner. I would imagine Ubisoft partners are incentivized to play these kinds of games on release. So there's also drops. If you want your Skull and Bones drops, you would sit on a stream. So
yeah, but you have to buy and play the game. What drops?
$10 to $20, and I'm in. I'll give it a shot. Anything more than that, I'll just play Sea of Thieves or I don't know anything else actually. Anything else?
Just go play Black Flag again.
Go play Black Flag. I play Black Flag over. It's a fun game. Okay. I don't have anything else. I know we didn't have it originally on the dock, but I did remember. I was like, oh shit, Skull and Bones came out yesterday.
Yeah, it came out.
Okay. Next on our list is East 10 Nordics. Yes. It's time once again to get an East game. A boundless sea of adventure and discovery awaits you. Join Adol.
It's
Adol. Kristen and his unlikely ally, the pirate Arja Balta. Okay.
That'd be my guess, but I don't know.
As they work together to save the people of Obelia Gulf. All these names are killing me. I know they're probably easy for everybody else, but my brain's like, Obelia? What? So they gave us a nice, Jesus, that was loud. Nice little, oh, look at that. Masked character, very nice. Very nice. Oh, a whale! Love to see that. Okay. What do you think of this, Spoon?
I mean, this looks like another East game, which are always they're always a good time.
They just fist bumped there, or did something. Yeah. What is that? They did. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Do people do that?
I guess.
I mean, like people do. Like I've seen this, but like what?
I mean, you still haven't played East 9, right?
No, I haven't. I do want to at some point adventure into the world of East 9. I mean, yeah, this looks like to me what I would expect an East game. Doesn't seem like they've made much in the way of updates to any of the graphics, which honestly I just expected they didn't.
Falcom doesn't have the money to
exactly
go super hard on graphics.
That's what I said. Didn't expect it. Looks like an East game. They're sticking to the formula, which I go for it. That's working for you.
Like there's some speaking of like ship games, there's some like island like ship sailing and like island stuff in this game. And I don't know if they did show it a little bit. Yeah, so we got some ship combat here.
Skull and Bones? Crazy.
And supposedly I haven't read too much into it, that they changed the combat a little bit. I assume it's still going to be really similar, but it's not like the exact same like 3-party member thing that was going on the last couple games.
Oh, okay.
So,
Gotcha. While ship combat, I mean, okay, it's a mini game in the game. Sure, I'm open to this kind of mini game. For the record, JRPG developers.
Yeah, again, it's a mini game.
Yeah, I'm open to JRPGs doing these kind of mini games and not terrible Mario Kart racing games. You know, like that. Just want to be clear on this.
No Kingdom Carts.
That sucked. That was.
Yeah, it's bad. It's very bad.
Okay, play mini game in a low budget game title. Listen, this is like I like ship combat in these games as like a mini game and like a nice like change of pace, and it makes sense for the idea of the background and setting for the game. So I like it. It's a good choice. I will say that my first critique, and I will add no others. Who the fuck is this? Someone's driving the boat. Got that. Where's the rest of the crew?
Yeah, that's fair.
So look, it's East. I get it. They're not trying to break the bank for the graphics, but I was just like, my first impression was like, I mean, at least there's a driver. I was like, oh, there's a driver. Okay, great. So there's a driver. We're at least there. This is the beginning of the game before you recruit your crew. If there's a crew recruitment system,
I will see.
That might be pretty cool. I would like to see that. You could like get your crew on here. Okay. Anyway,
I mean, I'm sure you could look up details if you want to. This game is out in Japan already.
Oh shit!
So if you really wanted to look up details on this game, you probably could.
Right.
I just
it is. Yeah. Anyway,
this game came out in like August or September in Japan, I think. So it's been out for a few months.
Got it. And now that yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts, Spoon, on this one?
Nope. Looking forward to it. I like Falcom. I like Falcom's games. I like East, and I like Trails. So we're actually getting 2 Falcom games this fall. Trails into Daybreak is releasing in, I think they said summer, but the rumors are it's going to be like late summer, like early September or something. What
was the last Trails game called again?
Reverie.
Do you think they just have like a bowl, like a dice, like a 20-sided die, and it corresponds to a whiteboard? And like, okay, we wrote down 20 random words from the dictionary, and we have a 20-sided die. We're gonna roll a die, and whatever the word is that comes up, that's gonna be what the title of the game is. And one of them was daylight or daybreak, and they just rolled it and they hit daybreak, and like, okay, bam, there it is. There's the title.
I mean, at least like the Sky series made sense, and Cold Steel made sense as well for those 4 games. Yeah, Reverie was a little weird, but you know, one of the main mechanics in the game was called the Reverie Corridor, so okay.
So it made sense with that, yeah.
And then Daybreak, I'm sure there will be a significant.
There's going to be a yeah.
Sure
I'm just messing. Like, I just think it would be funny if like, okay, we put a bunch of words from the dictionary, rolling it, got it.
In Japanese, it's Kuro no Kiseki, which, you know, I don't remember the exact translation of that, but
I'm sure it's not a 1-to-1.
Yeah, the 1-to-1 translation is like trails in the, like, because Kuro is like dark or like black, so
I see.
It's like trails into dark.
And daybreak is like their way of going like you're breaking. Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah, and I've heard people
Trails of Black. See, there you go.
Yeah, it's like Trails of Black. So, and I think the like fan translation of it was like Trails to the Dawn or something like that. And they went Daybreak. They went Daybreak for the official translation. So I mean, you know, it's
okay.
It tracks.
Trails of Black.
Yeah. Like Trails of Black or Trails into Black.
Trails of, I don't know, Darkness. Trails of Darkness. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. If there's nothing else, we can go. I like the idea of like every time I hear some of these names of games, I'm like, did you just roll a die and like that's what happened? Dream Drop Distance and like some of the other 350, like some of those, I'm just like, I know they make sense in the game, but God help me if I'm just like, did they just
they do actually make sense when you like think about it, but
Yeah,
it's still
it's so wild. You're like, oh my God. Okay. I actually saw. I think I saw this one too without you posting it. I don't know how it like came up in my feed at one point. I thought I saw it. So one of the scenario writers for Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, I assume Rabbit and Bear Studios is the one that makes the game. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just assume that. Yoshitaka Murayama. And I'm gonna hope that was correct. Passed away February 6th. So it's always sad. It's always sad when this stuff happens.
And it's not. I mean, it's not one of the scenario. Like this is the guy. This guy is like the creator of Suikoden. This guy was like the creator of Suikoden, and this game is the spiritual successor to Suikoden. The game's coming out in April, so I assume the story is already done. So they did finish they finished the game,
right? In
terms of the story, at least.
But
you know, I think the guy. I think they said he's in his 50s or something like that. Like he's not that old.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He had some. Again, there were no like details on it. I think he has some chronic illness or something like that. And, you know, who knows? But
50. It's just. Yeah, I mean, it's just heavy news. Always tough. I'm sure the game will have. When is the game coming out again? I'm sure the game's gonna have something.
April like 25th, something like that. I mean, it's near the end of April. It's in the 20s.
So they'll definitely do a little something in the game. But it's just
sure they will.
Always tough.
Yeah. Sad to hear. I hope the game. I mean, I'm gonna play the game, but I hope the game is really good and can honor his memory with one last release for him.
Right.
So.
Agreed. Okay.